Why is English so powerful? Why is it the language that connects a businessman in USA with a scientist in Germany and a student in India with a university in London? Why does every international airport use English for announcements? Why do global companies demand English skills? Why do the most powerful movies, books, and technologies speak English? The answer is simple, and yet so powerful. English is the language of opportunity, success, and global connection. But here's something even more important. By listening to this, by staying with me, through this entire journey, you are not just learning about English, you are actually learning English. Every word, every sentence, every story you hear, will make you stronger in this language. You will train your ears to understand real English. You will pick up new vocabulary without even trying. You will start to feel the rhythm of English naturally. So don't think of this as just a lesson. Think of it as an experience of transformation. Imagine this: 10 years from now, you are in a big meeting room, sitting with people from 5 different countries. They are discussing a $1 million deal. Everyone is speaking English language. And you are not silent in that room. You are not hiding behind fear. You are speaking with confidence, your words flowing like a river, your ideas shining bright. That future is possible. That future begins today. And it begins by understanding one simple truth. English is not just a language. It is a global power. And if you master it, you hold that power in your hands. So stay with me. We will travel through history, walk with kings and emperors, sail with explorers, and sit in rooms where the world's biggest decisions were made. We will enter the world of business, technology, Hollywood, and the internet. And every step of the way, I will remind you, this is your time to grow. So, are you ready? Are you ready to see why English rules the world, and how that power can change your life forever? Then let's begin. Chapter 1. The Origin of English. The Seed of Power. Every tree starts with a seed. And the tree of English, which now stands tall and strong across the world, also began with a tiny seed. That seed was planted over 1,400 years ago, in a land called England. But back then, English was not the English we know today. It was rough, hard to understand, and only spoken by a small group of people. It was called Old English. Words like house and water existed, but they sounded very different. Then came the Vikings from the north, bringing new words. Later, the Normans came from France and added even more. Slowly, English began to grow, like a river collecting streams. It took words from Latin, from Greek, from every language it touched. That is one reason English is so rich today. It doesn't belong to just one culture, it belongs to the world. But here's the most amazing part. Back then, nobody knew this little language would one day rule the world. Nobody knew it would become the language of science, language internet, movies, and power. But it did, and the reason it was because of history. History that changed everything. Chapter 2. The British Empire. The sun never sets on English. Fast forward to the 16th and 17th centuries. England became strong. They had ships, soldiers, and ambition. They wanted to trade. They wanted to explore. They wanted to rule. And so began the British Empire, the empire on which the sun never set. Because it was so big, that the sun was always shining on some part of it. From India to Africa, from Canada to Australia, from the Caribbean to Hong Kong, the British flag flew high. And with it, the English language spread like fire. This was the first big step that made English global. People in Asia started learning English. People in Africa started speaking English. It became the language of trade, language of law, and language of government. And even after the empire ended, the language stayed. That is why today, in India, in Nigeria, in Singapore, people speak English. Not because of Hollywood, not because of the internet, but because of history, because of the empire. But the story doesn't end there. Something even bigger was coming. Something that would make English unstoppable. And that something was America. Chapter 3. The Rise of the USA. The new superpower. In the 20th century, the world changed again. 2 world wars shook the earth. Empires fell. New powers rose. And among them, one nation stood the tallest, the United States of America. America was not just a country. It became a dream of freedom, a dream of success, a dream of a better life. And that dream spoke English. America won wars. America built the strongest economy. America created companies that ruled the world. Coca-Cola, Microsoft, Apple, Google. And the language they use was English. If you wanted to work with them, if you wanted to trade with them, you needed English. And then came Hollywood, the factory of dreams. Movies like Titanic, Avatar, The Avengers. They were not just movies, they were culture. They went to every corner of the world. And the language was English. People in Japan, Brazil, and Egypt, everyone watched. And slowly, English became the language of entertainment, music, and fashion. Chapter 4. The Dollar and Global Business. Money speaks English. Now, let's talk about power, the kind of power that moves the world, which is money. Today, when you think about global trade, when you think about big business deals, what currency comes to your mind? The US dollar. And what the language is English. From Wall Street in New York, to the London Stock Exchange, from Silicon Valley to international airports, business speaks English. The CEOs of big companies, the negotiators, the lawyers, everyone use English. If you want to join this world, you cannot ignore English. It's not just a language. It's a key that opens doors to jobs, opportunities, and success. Chapter 5. American Culture and Media. The voice of the world. When you walk through the streets of New York or Los Angeles, you don't just see a city, you feel a culture. A culture that speaks, sings, and dances in English. And this culture has touched every corner of the world. Think about music. Who are the biggest music stars? Michael Jackson, Taylor Swift, Drake, all singing in English. When a song becomes a global hit, what language is it usually in? Music is transformed to English. Because English has become the sound of global entertainment. It is the voice of pop culture. It is the rhythm of Hollywood movies, the beat of American rap, the melody of British rock. If you love movies, you know English. If you love technology, you see English. If you love global fashion, you hear English. Hollywood did something magical. It made English not just a language, but an emotion. People around the world cry when Jack says, "I will never let go," in Titanic. They cheer when Iron Man says, "I am Iron Man." They laugh with friends. They dream with Harry Potter. This is the real power of media, the power that made English the language of dreams. But it didn't stop there. A new revolution was coming, a revolution that would change everything, which is technology and the internet. Chapter 6. Education and Science. The language of knowledge. If you open any major scientific journal, if you read any big research paper, what language do you see? Definitely English. If you look at the Nobel Prize winners, the scientists at NASA, the professors at Harvard, they write, they teach, they share knowledge in English. Because English became the language of education. If you want to study in the best universities, like Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard or Stanford, all you need is English. If you want to read the latest research in medicine, physics, technology, you need English. The world's best books, the most important studies, the greatest ideas of our time, they all speak English. And here's the truth, knowledge is power. If English is the language of knowledge, then English is the language of power. When you learn English, you don't just learn words, you unlock a library of the world's wisdom. Chapter 7. Technology and the Internet. The Digital Empire. Close your eyes, and think about the Internet. The biggest invention of modern times. The thing that connects billions of people. The thing you use every day. And now answer this, what language is the Internet built on? The real English. From Google to Facebook, from YouTube to Instagram, from software to artificial intelligence, English is everywhere. Silicon Valley, the heart of technology, beats in English. The code that runs your apps, the platforms where you watch videos, the tutorials that teach you everything, they are in English. And here's something even more amazing, 60% of all the content on the internet is in English. That means if you don't know English, you are locked out of more than half the internet's knowledge. You are missing out on free courses, free books, free videos that could change your life. But if you know English, the internet becomes your classroom, your library, and your business partner. The future is technology, and technology speaks English. If you want to grow with the future, you need to grow with English. Chapter 8. English in International Business. The language of money. Let's talk about success. Let's talk about money. Imagine you are an entrepreneur. You have a great product. You want to sell it to the world. Which language will you choose? For your website, your ads, your communication? Everyone will work with English language, because English is the language of global business. Every big company uses English. Apple use English. Amazon use English. Tesla use English. If you want to work in a multinational company, if you want to sign big deals, if you want to travel for business, you need English. Even when two people from different countries meet for business, if a Japanese businessman and a German businessman, they communicate in English. English is the bridge between markets. It is the tool that makes trade possible. It is the skill that can turn a small business into a global brand. So when you learn English, you don't just learn a language. You learn a business strategy. Chapter 9. English in Travel and Tourism. The Global Passport. Picture this. You are standing at an airport, around the people from different countries, like China, Brazil, France, and Egypt. The announcements will be in English. You board the plane. The safety instructions will be in English. You land in a new country. The taxi driver speaks some English. The hotel staff speaks English. The menu in the restaurant were in English. English is your passport to the world. It makes travel easier, safer, more enjoyable. It helps you make friends in new countries. It helps you ask for help when you need it. It helps you explore the world with confidence. Without English, you feel lost. With English, the world feels like home. So if you dream of traveling, if you dream of seeing new places, if you dream of living a life full of adventure, you have to learn English. Because English has power to take you everywhere. Chapter 10. English and Personal Growth. The power within you. Now let's talk about something even bigger than money, even bigger than travel, your personal growth. Learning English changes who you are. It gives you confidence. It gives you power. It makes you feel capable. When you speak English, you feel strong. You feel ready for the world. Think about this. Many people know a lot, but they can't express it because they don't know English. They miss opportunities because of one thing, a language barrier. But when you break that barrier, when you master English, you unlock your true potential. You are no longer silent in meetings. You are no longer scared to talk. You become bold. You become global. You become unstoppable. Chapter 11. English and Global Communication. One world, one language. Every day, millions of people connect online. They talk, they share, they learn. And most of the time, the language they use is English. A person in Korea plays an online game with someone in Mexico, they chat in English. A student in Africa asks a question to a professor in Europe, they talk in English. A businessman in Dubai makes a deal with a client in Canada, they negotiate in English. English is the bridge, it is the glue that holds the global community together. Without English, the world would be silent. With English, the world speaks as one. Chapter 12. The future of English will always stay powerful. Some people ask, will English always be the global language? The answer is simply yes. Because the systems of power, technology, business, media, and science are all built in English. Even if other languages grow, English will remain the language of opportunity for decades to come. Artificial intelligence runs in English. Global trade will be in English. Future jobs will require English. If you want to be ready for tomorrow, you must start today. Chapter 13. Real-life stories. How English changed lives. There was a young boy in a small village in India. He had big dreams but no money. He learned English from YouTube videos, from books, and from practice. Today, he works in a big tech company in America. There was a girl in Brazil who loved movies but didn't understand them. She started watching English films with subtitles. She practiced speaking with friends. Today, she travels the world as a successful travel blogger. These stories are real. They show one truth. English changes lives. And it can change yours too. Chapter 14. Start today. Your English journey begins now. Now, you know why English is so powerful. You have two choices. Either do nothing, or start today. Every second you wait is a second lost. Every minute you delay, lost of opportunities. So start now. Listen to English. Speak English. Practice English. Live in English. Because the world speaks English, and if you want the world, you need English. Your journey begins today. And I promise you, if you keep going, if you keep learning, if you keep believing in yourself, English will take you to places, you never imagined.